Good evening, it's Jane here from Love Your Lens. I'm here to talk to you about the monthly theme for April. My apologies that it's taken me so long to get around to this. Been travelling, had lots and lots of work on, but I do see this as being something that's really important. I constantly get feedback from people that it's really helpful for you to see some critique on some images and understand why some of them struck me and I've pulled some of them out and not others. So without further ado, let's talk about the theme of burgeoning, which I think initially was a bit of a challenge for people, but then the images started to flood in. So what I was looking for really were pictures that met the theme really well. So beginning to grow or increase rapidly, put forth young shoots, bud, grow rapidly, swell up, explode, bloom, multiply, all of that sort of stuff. I think there were some really funny tenuous links, but there were some excellent other ones as well. So let's take a look. The first image, set of images that I want to talk about here were submitted by Elaine Bolton, and I really liked this approach. Normally people submit one image and that's fine. I don't have too many rules. I like to see where people will go with the theme and the ideas that they come up with. And Elaine recorded or photographed this one tulip over the course of a morning. And I think it's absolutely staggering how it went from a fairly closed up bud on the left hand side through to a fully open tulip. And, sort of time-lapse photography over a few hours. And it's great, Elaine. Really nice idea, nicely shot. Thank you for giving us something so innovative and a little bit different. Okay, inevitably we had a lot of pictures of blossom, it being April, and it's been so nice to see all the blossom, and we've had some nice days to appreciate it by finally. Can't remember exactly what it was like in April now, but looking back at some of the pictures, you did obviously manage to capture some blue skies, as Jill Shaw has done here. What I like about this image is the strong contrast between the blossom and the sky, and the fact that you know very clearly what you're supposed to be looking at. Sometimes when you photograph a lot of blossom together, it can inevitably just look a bit confusing. You don't know where to direct your eye, and a really good idea to get around that is to look upwards, as Jill has done here. The blue sky is a perfect backdrop for the white flowers, despite the fact that it's obviously very sunny. Jill has got away with having the bright sunlight and sort of bright highlights and darker shadows. It's not spoilt the image at all. I like the diagonal line leading from this corner and then fanning out across the blue, and I think it's just been really nicely done. Well done, Jill. And a lovely shot here by Liz Kenny. Really suits burgeoning. Really is new shoots just emerging. And again, similar comment that I made to Jill. It's so clear and simple with such a strong contrasting background that you know exactly what you're supposed to be looking at, and it really sets off and contrasts with the main subject here. Again, nice diagonal line, nice placement of the subject here just off centre, nice square crop works well. Okay, now this shot by Marie Tate potentially goes, well, it does really go against what I've just said. Sorry, I always get an itchy mouse on this programme, twitchy mouse. So in this shot, there's a lot going on. You've got a lot of leaves, you've got weeds, you've got other stuff going on all around here. But it's very clear where you're supposed to be looking at. This really draws your attention straight away. I was trying to work it out. I think it's partly because it's really unusual. It looks like a brain, a green brain. But I just liked it. Again, it was spot on for burgeoning. Maybe it could have been improved by perhaps perhaps cropping out some of this stuff at the bottom and going in a bit closer in a slightly different depth of field. Having said that, it's very close to the ground, not an easy shot to get. So not a winning shot, but an interesting shot, Marie, and I really like the colours in it and the subject that you've chosen. Another shot by Marie Tate. This one I really like. Again, spot on for, it's not supposed to do that, spot on for burgeoning. And the way that, you know, someone commented it looks like a person, and it does really. It's almost like a very tall person leaning over. So it's really nice with the composition. And the soft focus background, and just a nice capture, Marie. So well done for that. Emma Kate with this one, and again, nice and simple, and suits the theme. And the colours are pleasant within it as well. It's not a knockout shot like some of the others that we've seen. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Emma. It's nice, it's okay, it's well captured, it's sharp. Yeah, I picked it out for those reasons, but I think when you look at some of the others, you can see why they've been picked out ahead of this one. Okay, then we've got Lisa Rusco, who goes under Coppice Corner as her photography branding. I picked this one out to demonstrate how well it works when you've knocked your background out into a really shallow depth of field and when you focus really precisely. That was one of the things I liked about this, very clear focus here. Rule of thirds pretty much followed here as well. So for those people who are just getting into their photography, rule of thirds is about imagine the noughts and crosses grid laid over your picture. So you'd have a line here, a line here, a line across, and a line across. And one of the ways to use this is to have your main focal point more or less on one of the lines or an intersection of one of the lines, which is exactly what Lisa's done here. The colour palette is lovely, it's muted, nothing is grabbing your attention away, there's nothing dark black or green or, you know, that drags your eye away from where you're supposed to be looking. So a nice strong example of good composition and sharp focus by Lisa. Whereas this shot I actually included to show how much stronger this one is than that one, because there's so much going on in here that you're distracted by all this other stuff. So that's there as an example, if you like. Okay, beautiful shot by Emma Hayes here, really, really nice. Stayed on this one for quite a while. When you see the ones that I've chosen and I talk them through, you'll see why I've chosen what I have. Obviously it's all very subjective, but this was a strong contender for me. Again, as I said before, for Lisa's, very nice shot, focus on the area that you want people to look at, completely in keeping with the theme, and a lovely colour palette within this as well. Nice off centre, lovely depth of field, bokeh, so lovely capture, very nice. Could see that on a birthday card or something. Tina Cook, have I got this in twice? No, oh, that was Emma Kate, sorry. Yeah, two very similar pictures here. So same sort of subject, same sort of comment I'd make actually, Tina. Lovely and sharp, very, very sharp actually. All the lovely details on these leaves and things. And in fact, I think it's the light on this that makes it actually a little bit more interesting and pop out a little bit more perhaps than this. All personal opinion, of course. Yeah, and another good fit for burgeoning. Okay, slightly different take on the subject here. Burgeoning balloons, burgeoning glass, blown glass. I liked it, quite a simple shot, fill the frame, lots of bright colours and unusual, and that can be enough you know, to make a good photograph. Nice and sharp, and as I said, interesting and kind of noteworthy. And that's sometimes what photographs are about. They educate us, they inform us, they show us something that we might not have seen before. They please our eye, and this shot's ticked all those boxes. This one's clever. Emma Hayes, completely different take on the subject. It's her son's burgeoning savings from having rewards for behaviour points, good behaviour points at school, I think she said. So I really like this. I like the treatment that you've done on it and everything. I wondered whether it might have been slightly nicer if his thumbs and hands had been in focus as well, so slightly less depth of field. And to be honest, it's something I can fall into quite often, is shooting too shallow a lot of the time, because I love shallow focus, but sometimes the story or the shot just demands that little bit more depth to the picture. But really great idea, Emma, nicely done. Okay, and lovely shot by Rachel. Rachel's doing some professional work now, and loves newborns and boudoir type photography, so this was right up her street, and she's captured it beautifully. I love the close in crop, the intimacy of the moment, the simplicity of the black and white. You know, it's a lovely shot, and I'm sure the parents to be were very, very happy with it. So that's lovely, Rachel. And my favourite shot this time is by I'm just going to undo something that I did there. Okay, so this is how this shot came in from Pete Sestick, and I really like it. It is burgeoning. Tack sharp again. I really like the composition of the sort of the bottom area down here being all about all the sort of subject. This is kind of the main subject, but we also like all these other bits here, and I think it makes it more powerful than had it just been one. Lovely soft depth of field here, and great colour palette, so there's nothing really grabbing our attention. I don't think this does any harm here. It's kind of suggesting branches, and it's in context, so that's fine. They somehow remind me of the folded wings of bats or something, and I just think it's a really nice shot, Pete, and well done for that. The only thing that did strike me is that it was a little flat or lacking contrast, and even just using Picasso, which is not what I usually edit with at all, just doing auto contrast in here, you see how that's just lifted the background. So if you take it off and then just bring it back in again, simple little tweaks like that can really just add that final polish to your image. So a great set of images again. Well done, everybody, and I'll be giving you a new theme tomorrow for June, and on Friday I've scheduled a little bit of time to actually look at your images for the theme this time, which is leading lines, the one that we've had for May. So I'll be speaking to you all again soon. Thank you for your attention, and I hope it's been useful and not too confusing. Take care.